Hello, this is a tutorial, a very direct and straightforward tutorial. This is how, it's more like an extension to FrozenPawn's gun game. I'm going to be showing you how to remove the Elimination UI, how to make it work with guards or bots, and how you can easily just give the remote afterwards just in case you have a shop or something in your game. So I'm gonna demo this as of right now. This is what you have. This is the default code and everything. So if I just shoot, I get the next weapon, just like that. And I'm gonna wait for her to respawn, and I'm gonna use her account. And if she shoots me, I get the elimination. So we're gonna go and fix that. Show you how to grant the remote, remove the elimination UI, and make this work with guards. Also, another note, you do need FrozenPawn's gun game script for this to work. This is what I'm using right now, as you can see on the right, the UI. I prefer this, he has verse persistence, it's very well done, very easy to use, so I would recommend using that. And if you don't know where to get it, I will link his Patreon in the description. Very useful. All I'm doing is just adding to it for it to work for your case, just in case you want to add more additions to your gun game as well. Also, I did provide the code in FrozenPawn's Discord server, so I would recommend joining that as well. But just in case you can't find it, or too much scrolling, you just go ahead and look at the Discord link in the bottom, and I have it all there as well. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need is, of course, guard spawners. Get one up in here. Perfect. So I'm gonna change this to, for this case, I'm gonna just add one, maybe an assault rifle or something. Yeah, infinite respawns, perfect. Spawn timer, spawn radius. You can you can change this if you'd like. Accuracy, I would recommend probably turning this to low. I think it's easier for people to kill bots. It's actually more enjoyable for them to kill bots. I probably recommend having that as low. Turn this off, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What you gotta do here, make sure it's enabled, and then now we need to connect the guard spawner to the verse code so that we can later alter it, or use logic to do whatever we want with it. Now let's go ahead and open up the verse code. Now you should have all of this already set up if you follow the initial video. He has it on his YouTube channel, FrozenPawn. We're gonna now connect the bots to the verse code so that we can use them. So just like how he did it right here to the player spawners, we're gonna be doing kind of the exact same thing just for the guards. So we're gonna create another editable, and then right here we're gonna add guard spawner. So now we add this guard spawner, and we're going to create it into an array. I'll explain this in just a second. Just like this. Now this will allow us to actually add multiple guards. So just in case you have 10 guards in your map, you can just easily connect it into your verse code, and then all of them will work exactly how you expect it to. So now we added the guard spawner here. Now we're going to go to our on begin, so when the game actually begins, just like how he did right here, he's going through each player and he's listening to them when they spawn so that he can, add the UI and everything. So we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to go here and listen for each guard in the guard spawner array that we just added. But instead of listening to on spawn, we're actually going to go ahead and do, for each guard, we're going to actually listen for the eliminated event. Then we're going to subscribe to that, and then we're going to create our new function. It's going to be called on bot eliminated, just like that. Now obviously I haven't created an on bot eliminated, so I'm getting this error. So we're going to create that right now. Now this is the juicy part. So once we create this this function, just like this, right? When a player gets eliminated, there's this function that gets called on player eliminated. Now it takes that agent, it takes that elimination result, and then it gets the agent from it and does whatever it needs to do down here. So prestige if it needs a prestige, or increment their kills needing to increment, etc, etc. So now we're gonna be doing the same thing. What I'm actually gonna do is that I'm gonna paste in code right here. You can go into FrozenPawn's Discord server and then find the code there. If you can't, again, you can actually go into the link below, the Discord link below, and then, so once you join the Discord server, you should see this. And once you're here, go ahead and click UEFN to access the verse code. Then click next. After that, just click finish. And once you're here, you can actually just go scroll all the way down to where you see UEFN category. And then right here, you can see the verse code. And then right here, just click that. And then add an image right here. But all you gotta do is just copy this function right here. So you can go boom, and you can paste it right there. Now obviously, you're gonna get some errors here because as you can see, the function before and the function after, it's aligned on this first indentation. So I'm actually gonna highlight the whole entire function I just I pasted. Then I'm gonna do Shift Tab. So I'm gonna do Shift Tab, maybe like once, twice, 3 times, just so it's aligned just like the other functions in this gun game device class. So just like that. Now I have accolades here, so you know when the player does proceed to get XP for it, and I have a new clip for my game, so you can actually just in your case remove these that relates to my game. And this right here, you can remove this too, and just in case you don't want to add a remote, so you can actually remove this. But I'm gonna leave this in so that I can explain this later, how to add a remote to your game, just in case you do want to implement this. But if you don't care about a remote, just go ahead and delete it. But for now, I'm gonna keep it so that I can explain later. So this is what you need. This is an on-bot elimination, just like the on-player elimination. I'm sure there's a way easier way to do this, but I kind of just coded this last minute and it works, so it works. So that's what I have. So now if you go up to the on begin, now it has no error because this function actually exists, and it's gonna pass in that that result, and then it's gonna do the exact same thing. Just go ahead and check if you need some prestige, go ahead and increment its weapon index. And yeah, so okay, for now I'm just gonna comment this out so I don't get the error. Also, if you need the code, if you want to copy the edible and you want to copy the code here for the for loop, you can also go into that Discord server that I showed you and go into that form and then copy it. Okay, I forgot to mention, but you gotta change this to wildlife creature so that you can actually eliminate it because it's on your team. And in that case, right now, let me go and just... Okay, it's right on free for all. Since we add our guard spawner and we add it to where we can link it, we're gonna go here. Make sure your player spawners are already linked in your item granter. We are now going to go and click this plus button. Now, the reason we made it an array, so again, if you had multiple guard spawners, you can easily link it. So let's just say I had like maybe one all the way over here. Let's go here, and then link that one, and then I can add another one right here, and I can add the second one. So that means however many guard spawners you have, just link it back to the code, click this plus button, add it, and it will work for them as well. Right now I'm not using the movement modulators, it's just a test. So yeah, have those just linked out. We're gonna have 5 weapons because we're just testing, and I'm going to now push all changes, and I'm gonna test when this is done. Okay, here we are. Let me go and start the game. Let's see if this works. Alright, here we are. Let me shoot you, and it works. Cool. Let me shoot you. I upgraded that. Shoot you. Got the next weapon. Boom. Dead. And now I'm also gonna increase this time spawner. And then I'm going to uncheck that right there. So now that we know that it works, I just adjusted some of the settings here so that it doesn't drop weapons. If I can find it, where did it go? Okay, right here. Let's uncheck that so it doesn't drop weapons, as you can see. So after this, now I'm gonna just go ahead and go back to the code, and before we get to remote, I'm just gonna remove that UI that shows. I'm gonna hit Control F so I can find out a function, and then I'm gonna do on player spawned. Okay, right here. This function would go into this, and then I'm just gonna comment KD out, you know, because we don't want. I'm gonna comment this out as well. I'm gonna build verse code. Removes the UI when the player dies. So let me push this verse changes and see if this works. Okay, let me start the game. Okay, let me see if this all works still. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going her account, and then I'm going to eliminate myself. And look at that. We got no elimination UI. So yeah, just coming out those two lines and you won't get it anymore. So now that we know that it works, let's go ahead and add a another item granter. If I can spell item granter. Alright, this one's gonna be, I'm just gonna rename it. I'm just gonna call it remote. And then this one's gonna go ahead and keep all items. And then click this plus button. We're gonna add the remote right here. Just like that. I'm gonna do the legendary remote. And then make sure it's enabled, triggered, always on. Just like that. I'm gonna actually make this wrap. Okay, I'm gonna save this. And then once I create the item granter, so here's the idea. I'm gonna go ahead and grant the player the weapon, and then maybe like after like around a second, then I'm going to grant the remote, because what tends to happen is that once you grant them both at the same time, this clears it, as you can see. So clear the remote. So that's why I have a delay. So I'm gonna show you how to do that in the verse code. So grant the weapon, wait just, you know, maybe around a second, and then grant the remote. So that's how I did it, and it works for me. So I'm gonna show you how to do it right now. The code, and then you can just do Control C, Control P right here, where it has the item granter. You can just do this, or you can do Alt, Shift, and then down arrow. Quickly duplicate it, give some space. I'm gonna call this remote granter. And then I'm gonna go down to the on bot eliminated. Here's the thing, right? You want to grant the remote when you eliminate a bot and when you eliminate when a player is eliminated as well, so that it works both ways. So we have this function called grant the remote, and we're gonna create that function right now, because obviously if I uncomment this, it's unknown. So I'm just gonna Control and C that function. I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom here, and create some space, then paste that. Again, make sure every time you paste something, make sure it's aligned. So make sure it's like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and get that agent. So I'm just gonna call A. It's gonna be type of agent, and then void equals. Again, we're spawning this in, so I'm gonna create a suspense, and then take that grant. I'm sorry. We want the remote granter right here. So that's the actual item granter, and then we're gonna go ahead and grant item to the agent. Now again, like I said, we're gonna wait a second. So let's go sleep for maybe like, let's try 1 second. Now you can adjust this, you can make it 0.5, so half a second. We're gonna try a second right here. So after a second, after they've been eliminated or whatever happens, the eliminated bot is gonna grant that remote afterwards. So let's go back to this grant remote. I'm just gonna do Control D to go all the way back up. Now we see this. Now we got no errors because that function now exists. So what I'm gonna do is gonna copy this, spawn and grant remote. Then I'm gonna go to the on player eliminated and do the same exact thing right below after you grant the weapon to the player. So after you grant the weapon to the player, it's gonna paste that right there. Just like that. And I believe on the player spawn, you want to do the same thing here. Yeah, so when the player spawns, it grants the weapon as well. You want to go ahead and give that remote to that player as well. Now, obviously, I'm getting an underline because it doesn't know what eliminating agent is, because here they have agent. So I'm going to Control C, and then Control P, and just like that. So now that works. So this should give and grant the remote to the player. We're gonna go ahead and test this out, see if it works. Also right here, when you grant the remote, you also want to add it right here, so that, because this just checks if the agent is in the game. If it is, go ahead and grant the remote. If they're not, grant the weapons, but also grant the remote as well. So yeah, make sure to have it here as well. I'll have the function, just in case you want to copy and paste it. I'll have this in the form as well, just in case you want to copy and paste it. Same with the edible right here. Okay, let's see if this works. All right, if I shoot her, look at that, I got my remote as soon as I spawn. So shoot you. I got the remote a second after. Let's try it again with a bot this time. Boom, and I get the remote right after. Now I'm gonna have to go in her account and shoot me. Now I should get my weapon and then get the remote afterwards as well. So I got my gun and I got my remote, and all works. So that is how you remove the UI and give the remote to a player. Now obviously I gave the remote to a player, but it doesn't really do anything. So I'll quickly show you how you can like teleport a player with a remote. So I'm just gonna do a teleporter. I'm gonna teleport him right here, just like that. Maybe give a little cool place to teleport, something like that. Let's make it blue. Okay, cool. So we now know that it works once you are teleported. So I'll make something like this. There we go. Okay, now we have a teleporter. And then what you would need is a remote signal. This one right here. Okay, so let's put this down. And then typically a cooldown, you can have it for 30 seconds. I'm gonna have mine for 20 seconds. So people aren't spamming going to the shop. And then make sure this is enabled. Go and do a legendary, because we have a legendary in the item granter. And then you can, this is optional, you can, I'm just gonna turn it on. So on primary activation, I think this is what standard or default. So once they click on the trigger, it should automatically teleport to here. So let's go back to the teleporter. And then I'm just gonna have this to none, this to none. I'm just gonna turn this off and then turn this off. Yep. Optional. I'm just gonna turn this off. I'm gonna have them face in the direction of the teleporter. And then I'm gonna teleport that person to that teleporter once they click on the primary activation. So I just click this and click that, and then add primary activation. So I'm gonna save this. So that should teleport them here. So you can have this anywhere. All right, here we are. Boom, done. Got my teleporter. I click it. I teleported to the shop or the blue platform. So yeah, this all works. The cooldown's working, the remote's working, and the UI is also working. Now, an additional tip, if you want to remove the cost of sprinting so they can sprint on your map forever, just go to island settings, search up sprint, and then turn that to 0 so that it costs nothing to sprint. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. If you like simple, direct tutorials like this, a like is very much appreciated. And yeah, God bless.